the last 5 years I have seen a growing phenomenon as I go into particularly the district courts in Ireland, and that is the proliferation of foreign translators. And when you follow the foreign translator out of the court, he's driving a better car than the judge or the solicitors inside. It's a racket. Recently I was in Dundalk District Court accompanying a lady who had been assaulted. Her case had been listed for various motions to frustrate her efforts to get justice 16 times. She's 3 years waiting for a hearing in her case. And every time we were in, we saw this man who was a Somali national, and he was in frustrating the process as well. But he had legal aid and he had a barrister. He also had a translator. And when we were in court the last day, a couple of weeks ago, in Dundalk, his case was being heard. And what the case was that he applied for not asylum, but citizenship in Ireland, having been here 11 years. He arrived here with no passport whatsoever. However, that was possible, he did. In any event, the Gardaí were able to determine that the passport he presented was a forgery and charged him accordingly. And this case has been dragging on since 2013. On the day, there were 4 Garda there to give evidence, and they must have been waiting as long as I did because it lasted, I was there at least 5 hours. There was a barrister, there was a solicitor, and there was a translator, all of which we are paying for. I conservatively estimate that the cost of this man's charging by the state of an offence that he was found guilty of is in excess of 70,000 euros. Yet he was only fined 300 euros. It's a joke. Shame. So the punishment does not fit the crime in this instance. Why I originally posted up to get information about violent crime in the Carickmacross area was, I am absolutely appalled at the silence of the media and our political representatives that 2 young men from this town, in the prime of their lives, had their lives taken away by people who should not have been in the country in the first place. One of whom had convictions for violence and convictions of rape in his home country of Lithuania. Who is vetting these people? Who said that it was okay to put them in our midst? Who ever asked us our consent to have these people live cheek and jowl beside us without checking what kind of people they are? The young chap that died on the side of a road, his name was Shane. He was an only child. He was a law student, a pillar of the community, somebody that anybody would be proud to call his son. But that life is gone. He'll never come back. But the judge in the case gave the perpetrator the option of doing a short custodial sentence in Ireland or leaving the country for 10 years. He chose, obviously, the latter. His family are traumatized, and the people who knew and loved this really lovely young man are asking the question, why is nobody talking about this? This needs to be highlighted. This is not a race issue. This is a criminal justice issue. We need to talk about these things. We need to create a space to have a debate, to discuss these issues openly and without fear. Because if we are afraid, what happened on Wednesday night when the organisers of our meeting in Dooley's had to cancel because of intimidation will keep happening, and we will never have the debate. We will never be asked for our opinions. And let them call us whatever names they want, because sticks and stones, you know. When we ask questions of our public representatives and of the Department of Justice and from our Gardaí, when we ask questions, let them be concise, intelligent, well thought out, critically analysed questions, so that they can't run away and fudge the answer. Because we've had enough of fudge. We want clarity. We want to know where we're going to stand. If someone says they're going to put a facility in our community, we want to know the details in advance, not afterwards, when the damage is done. You know, I see Leo Varadkar and Simon Coveney sycophantically bowing and scraping to the
Traitors.
bureaucrats.
Yes.
And their answer to this will be to bolt locks onto the door that's lying on the ground after the horse is long gone from the stable. It's a lot easier to prevent. An ounce of prevention is worth a ton of cure. And we are midway through the process where prevention is no longer an option and cure may not become an option in the future. Because the cure that Leo Varadkar has in mind for us when he's living in the south of France and doing his big job for the United Nations is that our children may well be in civil conflict for their very existence. The only thing is they will be in a minority at the time. What I would ask people to do is to not look at the little things that divide us. I am pleading with people such as the Irish Freedom Party, Gemma O'Doherty, Ben Gilroy, Herman Kelly, the Irish National Party. I am pleading with you all to stand together, come together, and give the people of Carickmacross and other places like Carickmacross adequate, eloquent, thought out, critical representation that they can feel secure walking the streets of their own town.